Like school, e-learning.
Question 6 is an academic task, which means it is part of your life in academia on campus. It's something you would learn in a classroom. Um, and this question, you are asked to essentially summarize what is happening, what the professor says. Now, you are only given a pencil and a paper and you listen to the audio files. You are not giving any reading to refer back to. So it's important to take really good notes and to figure out while you're taking the notes how all this information relates to each other. Because you only get 60 seconds to convey what the professor told in, 5 minutes. So it's quite difficult, or it can be quite difficult, especially if you're not really used to listening. So this professor is talking about how moral suasion, it's like suasion, like persuasion, when you want somebody to do something, but it's about morality. So making people think about good and bad and persuading them to do something in a certain way based on the morality of it. So moral suasion, or when the government pressures a voluntary compliance, which means I want you to do this, but I want you to do it because you want to do it. You are doing it voluntarily. I am not saying you have to do this or you'll be thrown in jail. I am saying it's a good idea to do this. You should do this. It is better for everybody if you do this. Government with compliance with a public protection. So thinking about the well-being of everybody, the well-being or protection of the public, or public measure, or promoting public awareness. Now that's very difficult, but it's mainly saying that the government is showing the good things of doing things a certain way. Like not littering, not throwing your garbage out the window. Like, it can be against the law, but mostly the government uses efforts to say, hey, you shouldn't do this because it's bad for the environment. If you do this, you're harming somebody or the environment. Or if you're smoking in a restaurant, which is, bad for you, but also bad for the person sitting next to you, saying, hey, that is bad for the person next to you. You should think about not doing that. So that's what moral suasion is. And promoting the well-being of everybody and also promoting awareness. And the government is using this for environmental protection efforts. So it's not talking about humans, it's talking about the environment. Now that's a very difficult first sentence, but what this sentence does is it introduces what will happen next, and it defines moral suasion, which is what you have to do. So, moral suasion, or when the government pressures voluntary compliance with a public protection measure or promoting public awareness in environmental protection efforts. That is the whole first sentence. These have been very successful in promoting awareness and altering behavior. So making people realize it's bad, whatever it is, and altering behavior. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. It's bad. That smoking one is a really good example. Hey, smoking is bad for you. Don't do it. Stop smoking. And then people stop. And that's a way of people thinking about the morality of smoking. And it's had led to positive results. The government has been successful in altering your behavior and my behavior to a better thing. A better behavior. And then the professor gives two examples. Now, first is Smokey the Bear. Now, Smokey the Bear is a figure in the United States with the Forest Service. And he is a big bear who lives in the woods and can talk. And he is avidly against forest fires. And he's a cartoon, so kids can relate to him. But he's also serious, so adults can relate to him. I had a job working for the Forest Service a couple years ago, and we had one of my coworkers would dress up in a big Smokey the Bear suit and go talk to little kids about how fire is bad. So the government was using Smokey the Bear to alter the behavior of children and to make them aware of how fire is dangerous and how we lose, in the United States, we lose acres and acres and acres, or miles or kilometers of forest a year due to fire. So Smokey the Bear is a measure to prevent forest fires. So he has been amazingly good at fire prevention with his fire prevention campaign. And his success is that he has reduced the areas lost to fire. So each year, less and less of our forests are lost to fire. So therefore, more and more forest is saved because people are changing their behavior. He is telling children and adults to stamp out their campfires at night. Lots of forest fires are lost because people have started fires accidentally and then it lost control. And then huge areas of the woods are on fire, and firefighters have to come, and then it just gets really, really bad. And his slogan is, "Only you can prevent forest fires." And every child in the United States knows this line. It's everywhere. Only you can prevent forest fires. Because forest fires are very, very bad. I live in the desert, and one time when I was in high school, I live on a mountain, and there was a huge forest fire, maybe 20 or 30 miles away, and the whole horizon was on fire. Like, the whole thing was on fire, and this huge amount of smoke was coming, and it was really scary. We almost had to be evacuated because of the smoke. The fire was far away, but the smoke was damaging people's lungs. So fire is bad, so the federal government uses Smokey the Bear to prevent forest fires. The second example is a recycling awareness, which I am, from what I understand, is much bigger here in Korea than it is in the United States. It's very, very, very important to recycle. And the government has put in lots of measures so people will recycle more, because it's good. So the way a government does this is they make recycling easy and they make it convenient. Because people aren't going to recycle if it's hard. People generally don't do something hard if they don't see the direct result of it. So by throwing away this bottle and putting it in the recycling rather than the trash, it has to be very easy, because if there's only the trash, I'm not going to carry around this bottle because it's inconvenient to just carry around the bottle and not throw it away. So it has to be easy and convenient. People will do it more if it's easy and convenient. And it's been a very successful campaign in the United States. And here's another slogan for recycling, which is reduce, reuse, recycle. Every child knows this one as well. And these are the efforts, 2 examples of efforts of moral suasion that the government has used to alter our behavior to protect the environment. Now this one is very difficult. I will hand it to you. As you can see, there's a lot of information that is really important. And you have to listen for that information and put it in the right order. I recommend that if you need to, you listen to this one twice, because especially if you're intermediate or beginner, because this is a very difficult one with a lot of information. So when you're reading my response or listening to my response, try and look for all of those things, and good luck.